Like, it shows I'm uploading. Oh, yes, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. Running through some technical difficulties today with just me being in the control room here this morning. I got Iron Mike with me here in the booth casting this thing, so not sure where we lost you guys before on that, but we got ourselves a interesting set of matchups today with 51st and inSKY starting it off, followed by 104th and SF. Alrighty, guys. Hopefully we don't have any further issues here. I know they're still working on the server trying to get that going, so see if that's up and running yet. And Iron Mike, you got any expectations? What do you think we're going to see here with this first matchup? Hold on. I guess they're saying they're not hearing you. Not sure how Moltar had that portion configured. Alright, Mike, try talking now. Yeah, I think that's what I'm working on right now. It should be, I think they should be getting you now. He's really quiet. You're really quiet. So let me turn you up here. Sorry about this, guys. Have a little patience with us as we work through some of the bugs here. Should get this all set and going. Interesting. Okay, hold up. Yeah, I wonder why you're coming in that low. I'm not exactly sure why it would be putting you in twice. Ah, that might be it. Okay. Alright. Are we hearing him any better at this point? If so, I think we should be able to move forward. I think I've addressed him coming through my headphones. I'm listening to it, and you're still quiet. Yeah, see, this is the setup Moltard normally uses, which is a little different from what I normally do. So I'm struggling to kind of see where the problem's coming in. Alright guys, hang in there 1 second. We're working through the issues here. I think I may have upped you a bit more. I just want to make sure it's not too much at this point. Alright guys, it looks like they are off and running here. Hopefully you are coming in a little bit louder now. I do have the Twitch muted, yeah. Everything on my end is muted. This is where I don't understand how it would be doubling it through there. All right, is that any better, guys, with the double micing? Yeah, I think I know how to fix it based upon what he just said, so. I'm not exactly sure what's causing this, guys. I hate to throw my hands up here, but it doesn't seem like there's any specific reason as to what's causing the double echo or when I change. The only thing that stops it. Yeah. Yeah, it's when you're speaking, we're getting the double mic, and I don't. There's no other audio source that's putting any input in, so I'm not sure exactly how to stop it. Oh wait, here we go. Is that any better, guys? Might try talking one more time. right, Mike, I hate to cut you out of the program at this point, but I'm struggling to figure out how we're going to fix this and still be able to do this effectively. I may have to bring you in after Moltar comes back here and fixes the problems. 'Cause I don't know what is causing this. Yeah, that may be the solution here, so we can be able to proceed, as much as I don't want to do that.
If not, I'll just drop out so you can.
Yep, I think I'm gonna try one last thing here. All right, Iron Mike, give it a shot.
Alright, wanna try, guys? I'm mic check. Can you hear me now?
It doesn't seem like that worked. Okay, all right. Well, then we're heading in the right direction, at least then.
Alright, so just turn me up. We should be
All right, give it a shot, Iron Mike.
Okay, again, sorry guys for this.
Both sides are up in the air and moving, guys. Just to give you an update on the match, haven't missed too much yet. We have inSKY coming out of Kutasi, and we have 51st coming out of Sochi in almost exclusively J11As this morning. How's that looking? Still really quiet. Yeah, I have you maxed out as much as I can in TeamSpeak. There's no other way I can up your volume. Yes, hopefully that'll do. Yeah, he's saying he's not being picked up as you should. You are not late, Comey. You haven't missed much. We've been having some problems this morning. We're trying to work through it right now with the audio. Things are not coming in the way we would like at the moment. Alright, guys, let's get the music going here. I'm not sure why that stopped, too. Sorry about that. Let me know if you guys can hear the music, because I wasn't sure if that was coming through before either. All right. Let's check out some of the planes here. Got inSKY rolling mostly F-15s, if not all F-15s this morning. And we'll take a top-down view right now. All right. Yep. inSKY approaching from the south. And 51st looking like they're taking 2-3 flight approach here. inSKY, however, seems to be trying to form up now. I think we all know they're going to go into their usual formation, or at least we can assume they're going to go into their usual formation here as things progress. Get you guys back up. Alrighty, guys. Bear with me this morning on this first one. I wish it was that simple, Comey. I wish it was that simple. Oh, my microphone's not working. Oh, dude. Fuck. Hey guys, how are you doing? You guys got me back now? Alrighty. Hopefully that's got the problem solved as far as the audio is going. Okay. Think that should have the audio squared now, at least for me. If you guys are hearing me, let me know. Okay. Alright, sorry about that. Hopefully we can get things squared away here. I know the second match today will be a little smoother once we get Moltar back in here and he's kind of squaring things away, but try to keep focused on the action right now and check in here on inSKY. They're splitting off into their usual formation as we were just discussing. And 51st now pulling in from over the top of Bulls. Both teams look to be heading into the bubble now. Moment. Alright guys, here 1 second. We're gonna give Iron Mike's mic another shot here. Okay, good to know. Oh. Gotcha. Okay, there we go. I think you should have game audio now. Let's check that. So are you okay? So you should be hearing me as well now. Yeah. I saw that, but nothing's labeled in that way on this setup. So it's not as simple as just tracking it down that way. Everything's kind of labeled in a difficult manner to discern what's doing what in here. That's, I think, where I'm struggling. Because I've been under the impression that was what's going to fix the problem, but it's been trying to figure out which wires to plug in and pull out. You know what I mean? Like I have it. Voice meter input. Yeah, I'm not sure. Wish I could figure this out right now. This is kind of getting. Well, they're both lining up right now with inSKY in their usual formation, pulling back from 5-1 as they both met right around bullseye. It looked like one missile was exchanged. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm going to end up missing this whole match trying to fiddle with this. Let's wait till this first round of match 1 is over, and then we'll try to give it another shot. Okay. Alrighty, guys. Try to stay focused on the action here. Yep, A-front. Alright, so both teams look to be running a front line with a back line defending there as they push hot on the other side. So they have that back line covering them. Those 3 fighters will push up, they'll engage, turn cold. The other 3 will push forward, cover their egress. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of careful, methodical defensive play from both of these teams this morning. Both teams are definitely tacticians when it comes to the formation stuff. They both are very precise with the way they move. Good GCIs on both sides. So I think you're going to see this probably run it out pretty decently long here as these guys figure out who's going to make the least amount of mistakes. Alrighty, everybody. Both sides pulling cold right now. Looking like they're trying to get better situated here. Lots of separation from both inSKY, with 51st being a little tighter together. Now, interesting matchup with the primarily F-15s on inSKY with one Su-27 in the mix, and then you have exclusively J-11s on 51st. So it'll be interesting to see if we can discern what difference that makes in the matchup at the end of the day. Certainly have to pay attention to those electro-optical sensors, no doubt about it. These things can definitely make somebody have a bad day very quickly. Alrighty, four fighters now from 51st pushing hot. 2 in the back coming back around looking to cover those 4 as they push in on the 3 hot fighters of inSKY. This could get good here. We'll see if we get anybody willing to push out close enough to make something happen. 11.55 already pushing cold. Let's declutter this up. Sorry about that, guys, in the haste of this morning. S36, that's certainly an interesting observation. All right, and it looks like the first 4 of 51st are now pulling back cold. Everybody getting in position here. It looks like we're doing the dance this morning until everybody finds themselves a good dancing partner to get down with, because I can tell that this is a playoff game. Nobody wants to lose this right now. There is definitely that feeling in the air here. Oh, the scoreboard not accurate. I don't know why. Interesting. He sent me the files, but I'm not sure if maybe he sent me the wrong file. Let me try and switch that around. Yeah, I think Moltar may have sent me the wrong scoreboard, guys. You're gonna have to disregard that. I don't know if I can update that at the moment, unfortunately. Don't believe I have the requisite file for that. All right, 2 fighters from 51st, Sletcher and Frosty, now pushing hot on 3 from inSKY. 18.23, 9.25, and 1.63, all pushing in. And both sides now appear to be turning cold without an exchange. Choreographed ballet we're watching this morning, folks. These guys coming in on their pass, turning back. I think we've only seen 1 missile exchange so far. 3 bags across the board for the majority of the inSKY fighters. Plenty of weapons here. Certainly taking their time to let things kind of pick up here. There's no doubt about it. I think there's an emphasis on, not making mistakes right now, and that's certainly showing in what we're seeing here. And thank you for all the follows so far this morning. I know I haven't had a chance to check in with that and keep up with that stuff, but we do appreciate you guys following, subscribing, and donating. That stuff definitely helps us do what we do here and help provide you guys with a more entertaining product. And I know next year we got a lot of big things planned, and even some more stuff coming up here on the horizon in the next few weeks. So definitely stay tuned in there if you're not already. Good stuff coming. So back to the action. Hopefully we can get some fireworks going here. Get the feeling the distance is closing a little bit between these groups as they come back. It seems like I'm going to have to assume the 51st guys doing a pretty good job with that altitude battle as they ingress back in towards Bullseye. '51st getting back into formation. inSKY seemingly holding pretty strong right now in their 3 up, 3 back. It looked like for a bit 51st was moving with 4 in the front and 2 in the back, which is a little bit different than what we normally see. But I think that's actually, in my opinion, I have to think that might be a more effective strategy. Just having that line abreast be a little bit more broad and give you the capability of enveloping around the enemy. We'll see what inSKY does here to maybe counter that. But I'm going to have to assume they're going to do what they normally do. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. 2 fighters, one fighter hot from 51st. That's Tech. He is pushing in on 1821, but they are now cold and exchanging with their back row of 1823, 925, and 163. No, I don't think so. I got 6. Switch to the SAT. Maybe that'll make it a little easier for you guys. Sorry about that. Yes, indeed he was. Alrighty, folks, we're looking good right now. inSKY now very spread out. Look at the separation between these fighters here. 50 nautical miles. The outside 2 fighters are separated by 30 miles in total. That's a pretty big gap right there. Definitely one of the widest formations I think we've seen here, and it is looking rather nice as far as how they are conducting their movements. Comey, I believe TAC view does allow 3D view. I don't know if we're going to have the TAC view here. I might be able to pull that up. I think mine should be running on this, so we should be good there. However, I think I'm going to try to address the mic issues with Iron Mike in between this, so maybe we can get him in here for round 2. And let me know if the audio is if you guys are hearing too much in the background or anything like that at this point. I'll try to adjust that as best as I can. I'm not used to having the open mic. Well, lots of position play this morning. Will do, Comey. Will do. And here we go now. 4 hot fighters from 51st. I asked the question, at what point are we going to see a little action here? These guys are doing the dance pretty well this morning. No doubt about it. At some point, one of these 2 teams here is going to pull an aggressive maneuver, and we'll see whether that is the first mistake, forces the first mistake on their part, or actually forces a mistake on their opponent in return for that. I think it's going to boil down to who's willing to take the first chance of the day here, and we'll see what that brings forth. And that aim 7 just falling flat. I would assume that was just to kind of brush somebody back there. Although here we go. This is probably the closest I think we've seen these 2 parties get here today. 4 fighters pushing now on 3 from inSKY, although they are already turning cold. See, now this I feel like would be a good time for 51st to push, because you did have a majority of the inSKY fighters pushing cold. I think only 925 was pushing hot in that situation. You might have been able to close the gap there and force them out of position, because if we look right now, just that little encounter from 51st there really kind of broke down, at least on this side, what we had going on with that inSKY formation. I think 51st has the advantage with the 4-man up front against the 3-man. I think just based on that alone, they have that extra fighter up front, somewhat in position to counter anything inSKY tries. Meanwhile, they're that 3-row is back far enough that it's not going to be able to combat the single man advantage that the front row has with the 4 guys. Well, I think the fuel, we know that these matches can kind of get drawn out based upon the way the tactics are and whatnot. So having these guys, be able to carry a large amount of fuel really enables the match to kind of develop a lot of the ways, and sometimes the ways we want to see it. It gets down into the guns because they did have the fuel to do what they needed to do to allow it to get to that point. So I think it's definitely an arguable point. And I think we'll see some changes next year. I'm not sure if that's one of them, but we are going to be doing things a little differently, I think, when it comes to SATAL and some of the other new matches. So definitely be on the lookout for that stuff, guys. '51st a little bit more broken up now. inSKY's starting to come back into position. It's definitely not as entertaining as this type of stuff can certainly get. So I think some of these matches you gotta kind of work. You're working through it to get to the fireworks at the end. Right now, they're definitely slow playing this. There is no doubt about it. Waiting on the other one to make their first mistake. The question is when it will come, but we're gonna get it. Their hands are gonna get forced here at some point, whether it be fuel or well, mostly just fuel in this case. So that's gonna definitely force their hands at some point. And when it does, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna happen quick, and we'll be there if I can talk about it. I can assure you that much. I think we're going to see low fuel with large amounts of missiles, which could... Ooh, did we just lose somebody? Tech has disconnected, so that is an interesting turn of events. inSKY now having a man advantage over... Did he disconnect? Yes, he disconnected, so it was not a crash or anything of that nature. Unfortunate for 51st. Now going to have to fight this down a man. And as we all know, the internet is undefeated. Indeed, Rip Tech for sure. That was unfortunate. If I'm inSKY right now, this is where you push. There's probably a little bit of confusion amongst the 5-1 guys as they're trying to figure out maybe what happened there. Probably not a whole lot. I'm sure those guys have established that Tech is gone and are now adjusting. And here we go. X-Man with a ER out on 11.55. Is he maneuvering quickly to get away from that? It does look like it. So he will push cold. Alrighty. ER still running out there, but not looking like it's going to have the energy to do what it needs to do. Mr. Ping is the king of aces. I will definitely agree with that one, Polar Mouse. No doubt about it. All right, inSKY getting back into formation after taking a shot from 51st. 51st now consolidating. I think they're reconfiguring the strategy here a little bit as they are now dealing with that man down advantage or man down disadvantage. And you really get the feeling inSKY now pushing further north than they had. It looks like the line of scrimmage here is getting bumped back just a bit. Still a decent amount of separation between the two sides. However, the line is progressively moving north, which I don't get the feeling is good for 51st. I think they're going to need to do something here to go on the offensive and try to balance this back out. Maybe 51st is dragging things a little bit back to kind of get themselves in a better position. And here's a shot out from Slutcher in ER. And inSKY 1823 putting out a 120B on it, staying hot on the moment, but it looks like here we go. He's split S-ing and heading for feet wet, as goes for the same with Slutcher. He's looking like he's pulling back towards the north to evade. Alrighty, and the line has, like I said, has moved pretty far up from where it was. I don't feel like inSKY is necessarily pressing as much as I would have liked to have seen in that moment, previously to take advantage of that man advantage they got. We'll see what they do here. Looks like an aim 7 out from inSKY 1821 on Yaga, but that had to be just to bump him back, as they're both already turning cold and bugging out. Alright guys, we're still in it here. I can imagine the fuel situation has got to be starting to get of concern, although these guys have not been maneuvering in any intense ways, so they may be conserving pretty decently right now. Curious how inSKY is doing on the altitude front. Okay, here we go. Shot out from X-Man, but 1823 is in a position to cover 1155. Is he going to fire on X-Man as he pulls out? No, both planes now turning cold. Oh, this is a time for X-Man to push hard in. He has both 925, 1155, and 1823 on the run right now. Where is his backup? Why is he down there by himself? A 3 group of 51 guys to the north over by the mountains. One looking like he's pushing hot on possibly 552. Man, Slutcher and X-Men, though, had the opportunity there to push in on those two. Yeah, Kazansky, this is the first match of the day. One more after this with 104th versus SF, which that should be a equally good match. We'll have Moltar back in the booth here. Hopefully after this first round here, we can square away our audio issues and possibly get Iron Mike back in here. A little disappointed I can't be calling this with him right now. I'm sure he's got some interesting stuff to say about what we're seeing here. Now it looks like we have a few 51st guys pushing hot from the north in the mountains there. Moltar and Yaga, with X-Men and Slutcher now turning cold. Seems like the formation stuff has kind of broken down for inSKY. Not as separated as we had previously seen them. And 51st now, I think, struggling to really get a decent formation in place. They are rather separated with a 3 group to one side and a 2 group to the other, but they are definitely now starting to come back closer towards center. Polar Mouse, I'm not sure if Capsu is going to be in the F-18 today. I hope so. Okay. Credit to him for doing what he does in that thing with the radar, as broken as it is. I'll say that much. Okay, shot out from 163 from inSKY on what looks to be Moltar as he pulls cold and evades. That missile looks like it's going to die out before it gets to him. X-Man now pushing hot south towards 1155, but he's got 925 and 1821 in a position to make that a stupid move. Slutcher now coming back around to be in a position to cover X-Man. Taxiway girls. Not a bad idea. You guys are great. Looks like a 120B was shot out from 1155 towards X-Man. However, I can imagine he's going to have to turn cold with Slutcher pushing through that 120. Definitely running out of energy before it does anything. And look how far north this situation has been pushed. That line just keeps moving up. And a 27 ER out from Slutcher on 1155. He's now extending north, and so is 1155 to the south. Go through and do a little weapons count here. Get some low flying going on here with 1155. He's jettisoned his bags. Decent amount of missiles for the Su-27 on inSKY this morning. Yep, so the bags are gone for the F-15, so that's a pretty good indication here that we are definitely getting into the low fuel portion, or starting to head towards low fuel. And here we go, long shots out from 925 and Yaga with an ET and a AIM-7. Neither of those look like they're going to have what they need to do anything effective, so they're going to probably cross paths in the night here and slowly hit the ground. inSKY, though, doing an effective job of keeping the pressure moving slowly but more northerly and pushing 51st back up. Now, how much of that is being assisted by 51st extending for a bit longer to try to get their formations and their situation a little bit in better shape, I'm not sure. Yeah, the fuel situation is, I predict in the next 5 minutes here, we're going to start to see some more rash decisions on either side. And it looks like a 120 out from 1823 on Slutcher. That doesn't appear as if it's going to have anything close to what it needs to do anything. (1823) 120 left, 1729s, and a bag, might I add. inSKY 1821, very north right now, all by himself. He's got it 163 down to the southeast, but it looks like he's turning back to rejoin with his buddies. And in a rare moment right now, it appears we have one of the inSKY guys pushed off with a two-pair, very much so out of formation. Not like them at the moment. Not sure what the reasoning for that was. Maybe taking a shot at pushing up into the group here. And you have to think that 51st is now nearing, or at least getting pushed back towards the edge of that bubble in any direction. If this keeps progressing the way it does, they're going to be in trouble. Here we go. 27 ER out from 11 or on 1155, and he returns with a 120B of his own on Slutcher. Once again, neither of those two look that they're going to have the momentum to do what they need to. And there was another ET shot out from that 27 on inSKY north at this 3-pack up here. Not exactly sure who that was on, but doesn't appear as if that's going to do anything either. Question how much these 51st guys right now are trying to use the terrain to cover themselves in at 16, 10,000. Yeah, it looks like maybe they're doing a little terrain masking right now. Not sure how much. 120 out from 552 on Moltar. He looks like he sees that and is maneuvering. Not exactly sure, though. Staying low in the mountains. Although we talk about that quite a bit on here. Moltar now pressing hot towards what looks like 1821. And unless 160 or 163 or 552 turn on him anytime soon. Oh, no, and it looks like he's already ingressing back into the mountains. I don't believe we've lost another red. I think with the terrain, it can be a little difficult to see some of these names. But there are 3 fighters over here on the right side, 2 fighters over here on the left side for 51st. inSKY still working with all 6. Very much so out of formation at this point. And here we go. An ET out from Slutcher on 1823 with 1155 putting out 2 120Bs on X-Man right now. He is split S-ing, trying to get away from that. Dumping chaff right now, and he goes down. I believe that was 1823. 1155 putting that hurt down on X-Man, and he is out of the match. Shots out towards Yago right now from 1821 and 163. So 51st down to 4 fighters at this point. Yaga getting pushed on right now by 1821. He's got Moltar there to back him up, though. Slutcher off by himself. He needs to try to rejoin with Frosty here. He could see himself getting sectioned off with 3 inSKY fighters now poised to separate this group. The other 3 working Yaga and Moltar over on the right. Curious how much of the terrain. These guys seem to be using the terrain pretty effectively right now. I'm assuming 1821 struggling to pick up radar contact. Yaga with a 27 ER out on 1821. Does he see it? He's turning into it right now. I don't know if he sees this. And he evades. He puts his own 120 be out on Yaga. Jump in there to see if he's going to have what it takes to avoid this. And it does look like he's going to avoid that. So we're starting to see it fly here, folks. An ER. Oh, did we just lose somebody? I feel like we lost a 3rd player, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, Yaga. I think we lost Yaga, folks. And then Moltar now in trouble. Oh, and Moltar just getting clipped as he comes around that hill there. So it looks like we have 2 fighters left for 51st. Frosty and Slutcher. inSKY now putting the hurt on. Really turning up the pressure here as they chase 51st into the mountains. All 6 fighters remaining for inSKY. This looks like it is going to be over and quick here with Frosty and 163 engaging, although Frosty now turning cold. inSKY really needs to get all these fighters hot and push back north. They have a substantial advantage in the numbers department here, and they really need to turn the dial up and take advantage of that. Although, does he see this missile coming straight at him? I'm not sure he does. Will it have the momentum, though? Maybe. Oh, just by him. I'm not sure what happened with the proximity fuse there, but that was interesting for sure. Although, did we lose him? inSKY 925. Does he see that? Whoa! Just misses him there. Puts one of his own out. See where that's going. Does Frosty see this? He is Whoa, another one. Just near miss. And it looks like we lost somebody on that. Frosty may have gone down there in the melee. And everybody is chasing Slutcher right now. $18.21 and Slutcher now head on here. And folks, they are chasing him in there. You see the plane circling in the back. Got to think he's got to be getting low on fuel. 4 missiles left, though. Theoretically, still in this. Not out of it completely. What Slutcher can pull off here. I'm going to try to stay on him. Oh, shot out by Slutcher and flares. And he goes down. And that should be it for round 1 here of match 1, with inSKY taking it pretty effectively. Did inSKY lose a fighter in that? I'm not sure. Yes, we did. 163 was shot down. Not sure if he crashed or was shot down there. Alright, guys. I'm going to go back to... I'll follow somebody in here while I try to hammer out some of these audio issues. So if you give me a moment here... while we let these guys get back to base, make sure they have enough fuel to even do so, because that certainly dragged out quite a bit there, and these guys have 75 nautical miles to go here. Yeah, Comey, that was, I think, a little graphics department snafu there. I think we had the logo changed, but not the letters. I unfortunately can't change that. Alright, so bear with me for one moment, guys. I'm going to mute myself and see if I can't square these issues so we can get Iron Mike in here for the second one, so you guys don't listen to me stumble all over myself for another hour.